Welcome, all you Plus 2 Comedy modifiers, to another episode of the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. I'm your host, as always, TV's Noah Houlihan, and before we get to our fantastic episode with the hosts of Intelligence Check, I gotta tell you about some upcoming shows. On July 3rd, that's a Tuesday at 10 p.m., I will be at Helium Comedy Club for Philly's Funniest quarterfinals. So please come out, vote for me, support Plus 2 Comedy, and check me out at Helium Comedy Club in Philadelphia. It starts at 10 p.m. I know it's late, but if you mention my name at the door, you can get half-price tickets. See some of the funniest comedians in the Philadelphia area at Philly's Funniest, July 3rd at Helium Comedy Club. Also, right after that, we are going to be heading all the way up to DexCon in Morristown, New Jersey. We're going to be doing the auction and Game the Gamer and a bunch of fun stuff. It is a 5-day con. It runs Wednesday to Sunday, so July 4th all the way to the 8th in Morristown, New Jersey. For more information, go to dexposure.com. Please come and see us. It's a fantastic gaming convention everyone should check out. I also haven't mentioned this much, but we are returning to Otakon. Otakon is August 10th through the 12th, and we will be debuting a brand new version of Beyond the Tentacle. So please come check us out. Otakon is now in Washington, D.C. at the Walter E. Washington Convention Center. So please come check out the biggest anime convention on the East Coast and check out Plus 2 Comedy's brand new Beyond the Tentacle. This one I think I've completely forgotten to tell you, but do you guys ever hear of a little con called J1? J1 is down in Atlantic City. That's the new home for J1. It's at the Boardwalk Convention Center. Or actually, it's at the Showboat. It's at the Showboat Hotel. So be sure to check out J1 for some cosplay pro wrestling, September 14th through the 16th. For more information, go to j1con.com. And finally, we are returning to Mag Labs. Yes, Mag Labs is in Virginia at the Hilton Alexandra Mark Center, September 7th through the 9th. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be doing there, but I know we're going to be doing a lot. We're still working it out. It's a couple months off, kind of. So be sure to come see us in September. I just realized that this is actually before J1, but I'm not re-editing this. So come see us at all those cons. It's going to be a great time. And now, without any further ado, take it away.
Who's ready for a podcast? We'd even set up chairs this time.
But there's so many of them.
I know. It's standing room only. It's a. You take the chairs away and everything's standing room only, and it sounds so much better.
It's true. I mean, the cameras are this way. You could be like, oh, yeah, there's hundreds of people.
Seas of people.
Well, now we can't.
Yeah. Let's start the show over.
Yeah.
Settle down. This is the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. I'm your host, as always, TV's Noah Houlihan. We are recording live from Gamers Vault. That's 175 Route 70 in Medford, New Jersey. And I am joined, as always, by the Mr. Pibb to my Dr. Pepper, Mr. Will Liam. How you doing, Will?
I am Dr. Thunder.
You want to be Dr. Thunder?
Dr. Thunder is my favorite.
I think, you know what? I already know a Dr. Thunder, so I'm sorry, but you're going to have to be
Is
a Mr.
he a
Pibb.
professional wrestler?
No, he's a comedian.
I was
He
really
needs
hoping
to
he was
change
actually an
careers.
MD.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should definitely change careers, absolutely. How you doing, Will?
I'm good. Did you say MP?
MD.
Oh,
Medical
okay.
doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a British minister.
Whatever he wants to be, really.
Lord Dr. Thunder.
I like that. Baron von Thunder.
Ooh.
Yeah. Do you want to be a Baron?
Yes, always.
All right, Baron Thunder
Thank
is your
you.
new name.
Von Thunder.
I'm sorry. Our guests this week, we should probably introduce them, are the host of the Actual Play podcast, even though you play 5th edition, Intelligence Check. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
So, Intelligence Check, you use 5th edition,
Yes.
and I'm going to forgive you for that.
No, wait, no, what are you doing?
I thought we were anti-5th edition.
Fourth.
Oh, we're
Fourth's
at
the
the
bad
fourth
one.
edition.
Yeah, don't do this. Don't do this.
You don't even know what edition you don't like.
He doesn't represent us.
THACO, right? Right, guys?
That's more right.
Good old Thaco.
Yeah.
You want negative AC, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dice, they're polyhedral.
Good.
Right?
Keep this up. Pluses.
I think you're tricking everyone. Keep going.
Sometimes minuses. Dwarfs and elves.
Look, I'm just there to play
Xenomorphs? That doesn't sound right. Uh-oh.
I'm just there to play pretend. I don't want to get into this debate.
That's fair. That's
It's
fair.
the DM's job to know the rules and
Or make them up.
or make
Yes.
them up. Yes.
But tell us about Intelligence Check. Why did you guys get together and decide to record this?
Bunch of different reasons. We used to play way back when. We never actually played true D&D because I couldn't be bothered to learn the rules, so I just made everything up as we went.
I hate people like you.
And so we kind of did it because we wanted to do a pet project together. It was also a nice way to force ourselves to get together to play. And, you know, when we make it a podcast, our wives can't say, no, you can't go because we say, oh, it's for the podcast.
It's
God
for
damn.
work.
Yeah, that's not true. That's not true at all. And also, it's kind of fun just to figure out how to make a podcast.
Yeah.
We like the challenge of that too. So
No, that was a ton of fun putting everything together. We spent a really long time setting everything up before we actually started recording, and then we ended up recording for a year,
maybe a whole year before we actually posted an episode. Yeah.
Wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very wise.
Yeah, we actually have like a 2-year backlog now.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Like, yeah. So whatever you guys are hearing now, we're so far past that we have to be careful whenever we talk
It
to
makes it
anybody about it. 'cause
very
we
Yeah,
forget.
one spoiler.
yeah, that's what.
No, just say one right now.
just one. She dies.
No, she was my favorite.
Can't believe you went with that one.
Bring her back.
Don't worry.
Oh, that's another spoiler.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, thank you for watching.
I was going to ask, well, what's happening in the adventure, but you're not sure, are you?
Oh no. I listen every time it airs just so that I know where everybody else is.
Cool.
Because it's that's where it's difficult for me because our listeners are at one place, our players are at another, and I'm even further
further,
out
right,
because
right.
I'm planning everything.
Oh, so you're GMing?
Yeah,
Yeah, Kyle's the DM. He creates the whole world, all the NPCs, everything. So it's totally homebrewed.
Yeah.
He's created all of this in his head. He does a really cool job of using like the backstories that we've created though to kind of flavor everything. So
Cool.
it's a lot of fun because we have a hand in the process and we feel attached to the world too, other than just playing in it.
Now, do you have a secret George R. R. Martin notebook in case you tragically die before the adventure ends?
Actually, I kind of do.
Oh, good.
Wasn't the intention, but I have
Weird
files saved to a
question,
computer. Yeah. I have a file, and my
Vaguely
wife knows where it is.
Yeah. I'm
Are
just
you-
saying,
are you
is
looking
it
to do
dangerous?
podcasts? Or?
We have a spot open now.
Well, I'm saying if I kill you, then it becomes my podcast.
That legally
That's the
is the way it
podcaster's
works.
rules, yeah.
Well, we have to still do it
Based
at
off
Kyle's
everything.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Are you
I
okay
wouldn't
with
want to
that?
do it. I hear you have a dog.
I have 2.
Oh, perfect. I can't wait to kill you.
Well, thanks for having us.
Slowly back away.
Oh, that's why you're up against the wall.
Oh, well played.
Thank you.
Yeah, you thought that out.
Mhm.
And it also explains all the weapons over
Yes,
there.
yes.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So we can say anything.
Plus,
so there, no one
yeah.
will.
we LARP here, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Explains the tennis balls.
Yeah.
Your birdseed bag.
Oh.
What's happening? What are we doing?
I was just letting it happen. I was all about it. So I was just letting it go. I was letting you incriminate yourself as much as you
I
wanted
should stop
to.
saying that I'm going to do crimes on the internet.
Yeah.
Damn it.
While we're filming.
See, that's the advantage of doing it in a D&D setting. Like, you can be as murderer as you want, but it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you go, that wasn't me. That was my character.
My character
I'm
is hard.
far nicer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although you guys actually tend to do the opposite, where you build somewhat nice characters and then you watch them slowly degrade throughout the campaign.
We're not good people,
Yeah.
so that doesn't help.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely not. I would never describe our characters as heroes necessarily.
No.
I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Because why would I want to pretend to be a goody two shoes? Because every time I play D&D, I am a thief. And then Will says, "No, you're a rogue," and I'm like, "No, I'm just going to steal things. I don't care what I am.
What I
I'm going to steal things."
don't define me.
Yeah.
No, the they don't really play villains per se. They're just not good guys either. Well, I guess they're good guys. They're just not the best guys.
Like
We didn't
mercenaries.
choose
That's
to
the
be in
best
it.
you can hope. In my experience, I literally just started a Dungeons & Dragons group, and somebody asked about alignments, which I was like, it doesn't really matter. And for the most part, most adventurers are the worst human beings
It's true.
you'll ever meet. You just say you're not evil, and then it's fine to kill a whole family of kobolds. They're monsters.
They were.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Initiative was rolled, and that means morality is gone.
That's
yeah,
true.
no. I mean, they looked angry. I'm not gonna lie.
We quickly learned that once you roll initiative, you're not conversing with them anymore.
No, you can though. That's the
Yeah.
But here's what happens: somebody tries once, the DM says it attacks you, and then never again.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
wasting your turn doing it again.
Yeah. Nobody ever says, "Hey guys, come on."
Wait a minute.
I think the last time my
I
character
cleave his
did
leg.
that.
I apologize and say it's a misunderstanding.
Yeah, hold on. What?
Well, I actually told them all before recording. Not always, but almost every interaction they have that's going to be combat, I've built in one way to avoid the combat, and then if they can come up with something unique too, I'll always allow that.
Cool.
They rarely take the option.
Yeah, why would you?
We like fighting things.
I make a
fun.
lot of talky characters. It's frustrating when I'm like, if you give me 5 minutes, we can be out of this problem, and they're like, but we're just gonna kill everything.
I opened a chest and found this really cool axe. I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
I didn't find diplomacy in here.
I still got like 4 smites for today. It's a waste of resources if I don't kill something.
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
So what you need to do is just have your DM start putting more like charisma bonus items in the game, and then maybe people be, well, I got to use my charisma.
Or he'll let me roll against the party
Yeah,
to convince them not to murder.
Yeah. Can we not kill everyone we meet?
Nope.
Uh,
Everything must die.
No.
We don't kill everyone.
no, you guys actually are surprisingly tame for our group.
Yeah.
What is happening in the story? Where are we in this world?
Well, the basic storyline is that, the entire show when I planned it out is 4 arcs. So the first arc is basically the 4 of them doing their own things in their own homelands, living their normal lives, and then something happens, and all of them who've never met each other are all teleported and forced into this tournament.
Okay, cool.
And so the first couple episodes are kind of fun because I didn't let them talk. They have no idea what their characters are, what their characters' real names are, what their classes were. Everything was kept completely secret from each other. I gave everybody one magic item, so everybody was trying to hide that from each other. And
Okay.
So the first couple episodes are them not only trying to win this tournament, but trying to figure out how they felt about each other. And,
Gotcha.
as far as they know, any one of them could have been a traitor or anything along those lines.
Nice.
And then the whole first arc is really about them coming together as a team, learning more about each other while progressing through this tournament where there can only be one winner. So,
okay, so eventually they're going to have to come to blows.
not necessarily.
Yeah, what kind of
Yeah,
tournament?
man, it's hard to. So basically, I mean, it's the first episode.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can
yeah,
tell
we
you.
can go, yeah.
There's a kingdom that the emperor.
Spoily.
Yeah. If you listen 10 minutes in, you'll get
Yeah,
this.
the whole thing
Yeah,
gets
basically
This would be in the trailer.
essentially
Almost.
Yeah. The emperor is at death's door, and this is how they vote for a new emperor. Basically, whoever does the best in this tournament. So none of us have chosen to be there, but we're all like not that busy. So
We're not bummed out about it.
it's,
We're all kind of chill.
might as well.
So they basically get explained that there's a spell that summons those who fate has chosen should be at the tournament to go there.
Okay.
And you can't leave until the tournament's over. So you could choose not to participate, but you're still stuck there.
Yeah. you
So
just-
in that
I'll be
scenario,
a spectator.
yeah, in that scenario, most people choose, well, I'm here, I might as well
Yeah.
do it. So, it was fun. We had NPCs in there, and like there wasn't a set thing like one of them had to win or one an NPC. Like there was a legit score I was keeping. to
So they
see-
run the Goblet of Fire democracy for
Yeah,
this?
yeah, it's pretty much
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
Can you choose not to Goblet of Fire? Research department? Could Harry Potter have just done nothing?
No, because
Okay.
once you put your name in the Goblet of Fire, you're agreeing to participate.
But he didn't put it in.
Yeah, but he didn't put his name in the Goblet of Fire.
Did he put
Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
I mean,
That's
that's like
favorite Harry Potter joke is just yelling that quickly.
which if you have to read the book, it says he quietly says.
Yeah,
or
he
something.
Oh, no,
said
He's
that
a
is-
comedy. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
this
his
is-
personal crusade against that movie choice. I had a for real. Oh, the tournament. What kind
Yeah.
is it? What stuff
pottery?
are they
You
doing?
making pottery?
Lots of stuff.
Lots of pottery.
There's a whole bunch of
Mostly
yeah.
pottery. Actually.
You're being real vague about this tournament. Is it a racism
It's-
competition? Is that why you won't?
It's kind
Well,
of it's interesting because the the empire that's running it, it really seems like they're just trying to get free labor to improve their kingdom.
Ooh, I like this scam.
Yeah, so
it's
we're defending or creating better defenses for their town, and we're helping them get food. And
Well, if you're wrapped up in this type of Goblet of Fire democracy, that you might as well use it to benefit your kingdom.
Well,
it's
Emperor
kinda what
Tom
their
Sawyer
idea-
died.
Well, it was kind of what it was. Is the tournament intention is to improve the land, and whoever improves
So
the
this
land
is a
the
scam.
most.
Yeah.
No, it's not a scam.
yeah,
Whoever
Totally is.
whoever improves the land the most
Yeah.
becomes the emperor.
And then you can go out and get 2 friends, and they'll be under you.
Exactly.
Land.
Work its way up.
Yeah,
They each get their own empire.
Gotcha. All right.
yeah.
Could literally build a pyramid scheme.
Be your own boss. So
Did we mention the emperor's a mummy? No. Literal pyramid scheme. Yeah.
So we're actually like beyond that now in the story. That's just the first.
None of you
arc.
became the emperor?
Well, that would be a spoiler.
That would definitely be a spoiler.
All right.
Big
Fair
But
enough.
the story continues despite the outcome of that.
okay, cool.
And
I
there's
will say my favorite thing is when players have things hidden from each other. Because I've listened to a lot
Yes.
of these podcasts, and my favorite's like, you guys have to go out of the room.
Yeah.
And it's great on a podcast show. It is horrible when I come to play D&D. Like, you go sit in the hallway for a little bit. Interesting stuff's going to happen without you.
yeah.
All right.
We did
No,
we
my-
did that a little bit, but not like while recording made people leave the room. It's more conversations.
We did once. Two very funny. There was
Yeah.
one time where it was actually Ben. His character was supposed to get a secret note that I wanted everyone to know got it. So not only did I tell them that this hawk swoops in and gives him a note,
Yeah,
I
literally it
physically
drops from the
handed
sky.
him in real life a note.
You,
No one
you didn't
asked.
get a hawk?
Well, spoilers. Jeez. No, I literally walked away from the table, read this note, and came back, and everybody's like, "Cool, now what happens?" It's like you're not gonna ask about this at all. Like it was a big plot point.
Like it was literally like half an hour later before someone was like, "Oh yeah, did you get some?"
Hey, what was that hawk about?
Yeah.
This
So-
is literally the exact opposite of when we play D&D. 'Cause when we play D&D, it's like, let's roll for initiative. What are you doing? What's your thought process here? I'm sure I've told this story on the podcast before, but I spent an entire game of D&D with Will where after
Ruining it.
every turn, I slipped a note to the DM. After every turn, and the note 100% of the time says, I did exactly what I said I was going to do. But just felt
to
like-
mess with them.
Yeah, just wanted to create
So-
doubt in everyone, and
Yeah.
it worked amazingly.
For
and
fun-
nobody had fun.
No.
For a fun anecdote, I once had a game when I was in college that my college roommates and friends played, and the entire idea was they started in one kingdom and it was a world of kingdoms, and their plan the point of the entire game was to take over the world.
Okay.
And so they were supposed to go through and do this as a team. Well, one by one, they each broke off. And they each took over a kingdom and individually started armies. And it got to the point where I would be walking from class to class, and one of them would grab me and whisper in my ear and be like, "All right, right now, my character." I'd be like, "What is going on?" Like, it's 8 a.m.
The campus
dice
is
being
sacred
thrown.
ground. You cannot approach me here.
And they started posting stuff throughout our dorm, like about the other. Like the one guy was a gnome, so he wrote a. One guy posted stuff that said the gnome is a Gnazi.
You walk into the
gotta drop
bathroom
that
to shave in the
propaganda
morning.
Oh yeah, it was ridiculous. Like people would like come knocking at my door like 2 a.m. Be like, "Hey, you awake?" I'm like, "No." All right, but real quick.
You open the door, you're already in there with someone. Like,
It's like, you have to wait.
sorry.
It's not what it looks like.
I'm burning your village. Stop.
All right, now it's lunchtime.
Pretty sure, I might be remembering wrong, but I'm pretty sure it actually ends with 2 of them alive, and then they deal the killing blow to each other, and then literally end. No,
The world ends.
no, the one guy was what are they called? Draconian with acid blood. And
Cool.
so the guy stabbed him and killed him, but he only had like 2 hit points left, so he bled out on him and killed the guy who killed him, and that's how the game ended.
I bet that is very fondly remembered.
One of my all-time favorite D&D stories. Like we still, when my college friends get together, it almost always comes up.
Now, when you say draconian, do you mean a dragonborn?
Oh God, no. Dragonborns are nothing compared to a Draconian.
Oh, that I've been schooled. I don't know what a draconian is.
Oh, Draconians are actually from Dragonlance, and they're like Dragonborn, but they have wings, which makes them cooler right away.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
They also, each one of them, there's like 5 different types, and when they die, something happens. So the one has acid blood, so when you kill them, they actually just turn into a pool of acid. And so you're guaranteed. One of them turns to stone, so if you stabbed them, your weapon's stuck.
One of them, you just get real sad afterwards.
Yeah, he cries in the corner.
You
Get
immediately
your big
mourn.
kitten eyes.
Oh,
Why?
jeez.
One of them actually
Oh,
turns
before I
into
die,
you.
I got you this birthday present.
One of them actually turns into whoever killed them just to mess with you, which is kind of
It's like a Luke Skywalker situation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably what was
That's
in
probably where I got it
the
from,
tree. Yeah.
Oh my god, it all makes sense.
He's learned a lot of lessons over the years with players screwing with him, though.
yeah.
So the one guy on the podcast, Mike, is historic for breaking games.
Oh, yeah.
Very well known for that. So it's
He's
it's
the
fun
me
to see.
of the
Yeah,
group.
it's very impressive to watch it in action.
I don't remember if you were in this one, but I had a game once where game starts, and I said, "You guys live in the city, and you've lived there your whole lives. It's being besieged. Everybody in the town is up at the walls. You're completely surrounded. There's no getting out. What do you do?" And he said, Mike turns and says, "Everybody's defending the wall. Yeah, I go looting." And so they spent the first 10 minutes looting random people's houses, taking everything they could.
Cool.
And they said, "Is there a well?" "Yeah." "All right, we go down the well." And they just left. They just left.
Nice.
Let the city burn.
The game
I-
didn't last long.
It's like, well, let me just throw out this story I wrote.
Yeah. Ironically, I think it was one of those things. Everybody picked a race that could either breathe water or could fly, so they just
Yeah,
left.
let's get out of here.
I was like, "Oh, well,
one of
all
the-
this planning, I'll just throw this out
Yeah,
and
so much for that.
wing it."
One of the
There-
times I witnessed a person win at role playing.
Win.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend in probably like right after college, and we had started playing a World of Darkness game. And I was like, "Oh, you should come by and play." And she was like, "All right, fine, I'll give it a try." And so we make her up a character, and they're like, "All right, what's your character's name?" And she's, I don't want one. And we're like, "No, you have to have like a character name." "I don't want one." "All right, I'm just gonna write Sabrina." Don't you dare write that on that. It's like, "Oh, all right." I was gonna say her name, so you'll be Quinn, and it doesn't matter. She doesn't listen.
That you know of.
And then we vaguely know each other. We're in like a cab, and then we see like something happening in this alleyway. We can go down. There's like vague monster. World of Darkness is kind of like subtle with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, "All right, Quinn, what do you do?" And she's like, "Well, I get back in the cab and then I leave."
Reasonable.
Not a bad choice.
Okay, then what? I go home. I have the cab take me home.
I mean,
I guess I'll see you later.
I guess she did the most realistic.
Yeah, she
role-play.
won
Yeah.
role playing.
Yeah.
We got sucked into a world of madness and monsters and nightmare. She's living a happy life somewhere.
All right, I gotta check in with Quinn. You're making tea.
Yeah. Well, you got a promotion. Good job.
Did she hang out for the session? Like,
No,
did
she
just sit
left.
there?
She went
Yeah.
home.
Okay. Yeah.
What really sucks was this was the
She
plan.
was LARPing her character.
This was how I was going to end intelligence checks, and now I'm going to have to rewrite that.
Ah.
And then you guys leave.
Yeah.
Then
Goodbye.
You're
home.
transported to a basement with 2 dogs and a baby.
That's right.
Live your life.
Yeah, you're all beardy white dudes now. I'm assuming.
One of us doesn't have a beard.
Hey, now one of us doesn't have
Yeah.
a beard.
That's right. That's profiling.
I'm sorry. You're right.
And it's a very brightly lit basement.
I don't think I said it was dark.
Well, I just assumed. I figured you said that.
You know
yeah.
better.
Yeah. Now we have one thing. Despite the fact that we are all guys, which wasn't our plan, it just kind of went that way.
It's- you
No,
know what,
actually,
it's-
that's a funny story I'll tell too.
Okay,
I did
do it.
ask one friend of mine who was female to play, and
Quinn told you no.
and Quinn said, "Only if I don't have to make a damn character."
Yeah.
The end. No, we had talked. It was sort of old friend of mine. Not gonna say names. I don't want to. But
Yeah, you're better
Quinn.
than me. I get it.
yeah.
Just Quinn. Everybody's Quinn.
It was Quinn.
Yeah.
But we had been emailing back and forth about various couple little things, and then I sent her this long email. It was like, "This is going to be the weirdest email you ever got, but we're going to start this thing, or would you be interested?" Never responded, and has never brought it up since. So I was just like, "All right,
Never
understood."
spoke to me again.
Understood, yeah. And we,
We've made do with what we have though. We've got Mike the World Breaker,
Yep.
who will be busy making plans, and he just gets quiet, and something is coming, and then he figures it out.
If Mike's quiet, something bad is about.
Yeah. We've got Leech, who's our horror movie aficionado.
And now that's his real name?
This is his last name.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's actually...
It's like the X-Men character.
Yes,
yeah, well, he's our melee guy, so he comes up with some very horrific things.
Yeah, he reads and watches a ton of horror, so, like, he never, I stab him. Like, it's always like, I drive my sword
It's
slowly.
descriptive.
What's Leech's first name?
Anthony?
It is.
We talk
but
about
we're
it.
not supposed to say it.
Are we not?
Yeah.
Can you edit that?
No.
Let's edit that out. Yeah.
It's not live or anything.
Yeah, okay, good.
Quinn Leech.
Quinn Leech.
Quinn
I
Leech.
think Quinn could be a boy's name.
I thought we said our names.
No, he actually.
I'm
asked for it
sorry.
just last.
I apologize,
He,
Leech.
he said,
Womp,
please, if you
Yeah,
ever go
what's-
on another podcast.
If there's one thing I never want you to do.
What's his address?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have that. but
Yeah, I
you
don't
need
know that
Social
one.
Security? Yeah.
I know a Ben Leech that you were like very much describing. I was like,
Oh,
Oh, okay.
that's funny.
and I could have just said, "Is it Ben Leech?" But no,
Yeah,
I
no,
was
you
like,
had to
you
tr-
expose your friend.
No, I'll be the jerk.
You do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take you down.
but
And that's how friendships end.
But at least I was complimenting him.
No. I'm sorry.
But yeah, he comes up with some very very good.
Cameras.
Yeah. Oh no, jeez. But it's very fun watching him work.
Oh yeah.
Some of the stuff he comes up
Oh,
with.
yeah.
And
That's
then-
another one. You can see the gears going right before he does it. It's one of those when Mike's revving up and he's going to break the game. It's sort of a oh gosh, what's he going to do? When Leech starts revving up, you can literally watch all of us just lean back and kind of cringe because whatever he's going to say is like the most horrible.
Something
disgusting-
bad
Oh,
is
yeah,
coming.
yeah,
But he's
absolutely.
the best. He's the nicest character.
Which is ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays a barbarian who's like super nice and gentle outside of combat, but then when he enters combat, it's
Yeah,
just like
it's just a bloodbath.
Yeah, exactly,
Pretty much.
exactly.
And then we have Kevin, who's actually a voice actor and has done stage, so he kind of carries the rest of us
Yeah, and he
in
plays
terms
a
of
bard, so
role
it's a-
playing.
What's
yeah.
Kevin's last name?
He doesn't like his last name.
Quinn.
Pilardi.
All right,
Kevin is his
Are you
last
going to
name?
check to see if you knew?
Is it- yeah. I'm gonna check.
no, I just want all the information about
Yeah?
these people out on the the
That's fair. It's on our podcast.
Yeah, we introduce ourselves in the first episode.
Everybody
It's not
except
secret.
for Leech.
Except for Bloop Leech.
I'm just gonna go over here.
Womp womp. No, but Kevin's really good. He plays a bard, so he does a pretty good job at making up songs on the go, and he pre-wrote a few of them, and he's definitely the most outgoing of the characters.
Yeah.
Which brings a really nice balance because most of the other people are pretty withdrawn, and he's like the exact opposite. And then there's Ben. He's okay.
Yeah, I don't add anything to the show really.
No.
No.
Are you even on it?
Yeah.
No, I haven't shown up for like 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Actually,
Are you guys
back here.
playing without me?
Has my mic not been on this whole time?
Oh, that one doesn't work.
Yeah. That one's just full of
Actually,
confetti.
that one does have a switch, and I got
Listen.
worried for a
Oh
second.
no. No, I'm yeah.
Now we also like to geek out on this show,
Mm.
and we do. Yeah. After all that, we do that with the
Haven't
same
we been
called
doing that?
"What You Watching, What You Reading, What You Playing." Where we talk about what we're watching, what we're reading, what you're playing. So Ben, you're new to the group,
Yeah.
and Kyle's monopolized a lot of conversation. So
Oh.
I'll ask you, what have you been watching?
What have I been watching? Westworld
Okay.
is a good one.
Yeah.
No, that's
whatever-
the
whatever-
1970s movie.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
that. Good choice,
We
good
just
choice.
watch it every week.
An hour's worth every
Yeah, it's really good.
Gets better each
I
time.
I feel like every time I understand what's happening a little bit better. Secrets keep revealing themselves to me.
in the West.
I didn't catch that before.
And then whatever my wife wants to watch.
Oh, what's your wife want to watch?
Usually HGTV
Okay.
or
Good background.
something like that. Yeah.
You got the bad side of the coin.
No, it's not.
The other side of the coin is Food Network. And
I
that's
prefer
much
Food
better.
Network.
Well, see, the trade-off is if you watch Food Network a lot, you're cooking fancier meals,
Mhm.
and if you watch HGTV a lot, you're planning future renovations of
Your house value just goes
Yeah,
up
right.
automatically.
Really? Is that how you do it?
That's
I
how it
watch
works.
The Food Network going, can't do that. Nope, can't do that either. Let's go to McDonald's. Research department's getting upset with me.
If I can jump.
I know I can't cook. You're not mic'd.
Just
I-
insults flying.
I'm sorry. Am I allowed to say what I'm reading too?
We'll come back around. We'll
Oh,
come
I
back
see. It goes
around.
the whole way
Yes,
because
yeah.
I have a. I'm
We'll
I'm
do a loop.
much more interesting book than.
Okay.
Now I'm excited to hear.
Yes.
Kyle, what are you watching?
We just started Arrested Development. The new,
You and the
the
dogs?
new season. Yep, just me and the dog. Me, my wife, and well, I guess the baby doesn't really watch. Actually, if you want to know the truth, I'm watching a lot of little kid shows.
Like what? What's good?
Do that.
Oh, Word Party is way up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Paw Patrol?
Paw Patrol still
Paw
out there?
Patrol's pretty good. She's not into that. Baby likes music and dancing, and they don't do enough.
Yeah.
What about Octonauts?
Again, no music or dance.
Baby has
You even know
terrible
what you're
taste.
talking about?
No, I have one.
How dare you insult this baby?
Wow!
I have one parent.
You
friend,
heard it here. Hates babies.
the coward Jean-Claude Van Damme and Kyle's baby. The two people I hate.
I mean, at least you're honest. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Calio action. Trying to get back on topic.
Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Uh,
Where are we?
how's Arrested Development?
Yeah.
Have you not watched that yet?
It's the new season.
Oh, you started the
came
new
out.
season.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
I've heard mixed reviews, so I'm concerned.
So here's where I'm at. It's funny. It's not Arrested Development funny.
Gotcha.
So it's like if you go in expecting Arrested Development, just my opinion, don't flame us. If you go in expecting Arrested Development level humor, you're gonna be
You're
probably
gonna be
unhappy.
bummed?
Yeah. But if you just say, "Hey, this is going to be a comedy," then yeah, it's still good.
Gotcha.
They do a couple weird like I feel like a couple characters had dramatic changes without any explanation, just probably because it's
see,
new writers.
like, I can deal with it if it's not like super funny, if I still get to see the characters I love.
Yeah.
But if they're all switching up,
I wouldn't say they're all. I would say two characters made a switch that kind of was like that doesn't feel like them anymore.
that's just what the.
Yeah. So
All right.
this is life.
Okay. I'll still give it a shot, I guess. William, are you watching anything good?
I watched Get Out.
Oh, you finally saw Get Out? Have you guys all seen Get
I've
Out?
seen
all
that,
right,
yes.
good.
Yeah.
I didn't like it as
You
much
are
as I know. I'm
wrong.
the only person. Like I
I didn't like it either.
You are both wrong. And so's your baby.
What is up with No, his baby
Like-
loved it.
Didn't
Baby
like
is
it at all.
woke AF.
No, I didn't.
Most hours that baby is awake and making noise. I'm assuming. I don't know.
Well, I've heard half the people I talked to said it was very funny. Half the people I talked to said it was very suspenseful. I thought it was neither funny nor suspense. Like
I didn't think it was
hate
funny at all.
I didn't hate it either. I
Yeah.
just felt like I watched something. I was like, well, that happened.
That's how I feel. Like it felt kind of. Like I appreciate it for what it is, and I appreciate it for. I guess there are maybe some people that like, oh, this is a point of view I've never thought to see things from. But
and I totally.
I was like, yeah, I get it. Old white people are horrible and racist. Like,
and they're right.
Yeah, I know this.
yeah.
The ending, though, and I will say this: the ending of horror movies usually makes or breaks it. So I think it's a good movie because the ending was phenomenal.
The ending was exactly.
Just the
ending is
idea that,
so
like,
good.
The ending was
any
exactly.
other horror movie, oh, cop's good. But
Yeah.
because it's a black man, he's like, well,
Yeah,
this is the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah.
it was so good.
So that made it, yeah. That
I did love the ending. There's that moment though where he goes up the stairs and everyone's talking, and the moment he leaves, everyone falls silent.
Mhm.
That terrified. It's like, oh no.
There was good moments. I don't know. I felt like it was kind of slow,
All right.
but
Okay.
I liked the ending. I thought that was a really.
Well, I've heard we're going to have an opening on our podcast if he decides not to keep you around.
There
So
you go.
Nice.
We'll exchange contact information later.
No, we'll do it on the air.
Yeah, make it really awkward.
Here's my phone number. I have to talk about this.
All right.
I recently binged all of Moral Oral,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm emotionally destroyed.
Yep.
You guys are familiar with this show?
Never heard
not at all.
It was on Adult Swim, and it is a claymation show that's supposed to look like Davy and Goliath.
Oh, okay.
And it's just this really dark look at like how religion sometimes can be confusing.
Okay.
So like a fine example is Moral or Oral rather is told like, God is everywhere, even in you. And he's like, okay, cool. And then he takes that information and he goes to a hospital, and there's an old woman who's like, I'm in pain and dying. I need you to kill me.
Wow.
And Oral goes, I can't do that. Only God can do that. Oh, but God's in me. And he just kills an old lady. It's like, whoa. And it goes from like little like parables like that. And then in the third season, it gets like real story character based. and the first 2 seasons I plowed through. Season 3, after every episode, is like, I gotta go for a walk and
Wow.
kind of deal with some stuff.
There was a stand-up comedian once who said, "If we're all God's children, what makes Jesus so great?" And that one
I think
stopped
that's
me.
Jimmy Carr. I think
Was
that's
it?
Jimmy Carr.
That
yeah.
one stopped me for a moment. I was like, "Oh yeah."
Jesus, so great.
If you get the chance, you should check out at least one episode of Everything's Coming Up Simpsons, which is a podcast where they talk about the Simpsons. Dino's
Yes, yeah, the creator of
Moral Oral does an episode because he also wrote a Simpsons episode.
I'm sorry. What was his last name?
Dino Simmons.
from Stanopoulos.
Sideburns.
Gotcha.
Starburns. I'm sorry.
Adds up. Oh, is it really?
Yeah, he
Starburns?
Starburns in Community.
Wow.
Uh,
Oh.
But he wrote an episode for The Simpsons that was Homer being impotent, and it's so much. But his writing process, when he explains it, then he talks about how that came into Moral Oral, and just like he talks about the process of it going from like kind of a comedy to just this weird
Yeah.
morality nightmare.
Yeah, it like there's parts of it that are legitimately terrifying. Like it's just like I just sat through that.
And why did you keep doing it?
Oh, okay, because the first 2 seasons are so funny, and then it just takes this turn. It's just like, well, I gotta know
Is it-
where it's going.
Well, I have to say, you definitely sold it.
Yeah. First 2 seasons.
You
Anyway.
don't like to torture yourself through media?
I get tortured enough in life. I don't need
Is it that baby you want to talk about?
Hey, I'm the type of guy that like I'll put a movie in that's like I know this isn't going to be a good time, but I'm going to leave, with emotions. I'll put that in and I'll watch it and be like, okay, let's go hug the dog.
I have emotions in real life. I don't want to when I'm doing other things.
I didn't want to hear Deadpool talk about penises.
Now that's emotion.
But I will say that through the show I discovered the band the Mountain Goats, which
Oh.
everyone should listen to.
John Darnielle.
Yes, they are the best. It's Moral Oral as a band.
Really?
Yeah. Super good stuff.
Okay.
It's just like it's that type of music that you can put on and just kind of like tap your pen to it, and then the one day you're like, what are the lyrics? Oh no.
Man.
Because it's like I had it on in the background, and then one of the days I just kind of caught myself mindlessly like singing the lyrics, and I was like, what words did I just say? That's not good.
So you just absorbed them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a shame you've never had an actual play podcaster on our podcast before that could tell you in detail about John Darnielle and the
I've
Mountain
done
Goats.
nothing but talk to Jeff Stormer about this.
I didn't want us to have another actual play podcast where we didn't go after Stormer a little bit.
Yeah, you guys should talk to Jeff Stormer. He also does a actual play podcast.
Yeah.
You guys should collab.
But it's only with one player, so it's like, well, why bother?
Interesting.
Yes, it's a good
I
time.
could go one way or the other.
Exactly.
Playing just
Exactly. 100% of the time.
is the one player playing one character?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's one character
that would be-
versus a DM. It's awesome.
That would be.
It is-
well,
it's
is it
actually-
versus the DM? Because he's going to
Well-
win. He'll be like, "There's 20 dragons."
It's
Suck
one-
it.
it's
He's
a-
pretty fair.
Yeah, it's one player. It's cool. It's this weird improv. Like it's just the two of you.
Sure.
Jeff should explain it sometime.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
should
no, I
talk to
gotcha.
Jeff.
Yeah,
All right,
I will
well.
put you in contact with Jeff Stormer. You both would make fantastic guests.
I actually had a DM do that to me by force once.
Huh.
We were. I was
You wanna
playing a
talk
game.
about
Yeah. So my baby. No.
She's a very good DM now.
She's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was playing with a group, and then he and I.
Which is the way you should play role playing.
Yeah, exactly. But like a week later, we went to get food or something, and we're driving over, and it was like, "All right, what's your character doing right now?" And I was like, "What?" It's like, "What's your character doing right now?" And I was like,
Eating
"I don't
Burger
know."
King?
And then like I never did like RP like that before in my life, and it was like super awkward in the beginning, and we had like,
It starts that way, but then once you kind of get into the flow,
yeah,
it's
yeah. All of a
cool.
sudden, I was like, all right. And then I got out, and I was like, yeah, that was the nerdiest thing I've done. That's saying a lot.
Yeah, I've done so much. Down goes Civil War reenactment.
No,
One-on-one
that's
role
way worse.
No. Our Civil War is actually from Marvel.
Yeah, we did it.
Well, that way no one has to own slaves.
Exactly.
I don't know why we've never done this. This is a fantastic idea. We should totally
TM.
Ah, damn it.
Haha.
Am I
That
right?
counts.
Am I right
That's
jokes
legal.
about this?
So we're running a little bit short on time, so unfortunately this is going to be what are you reading or playing? So I'm going to throw this to Ben. Ben, what are you reading or playing?
I'm
should go
playing
with reading.
multiple things, so let's go with reading.
Gotcha.
I'm reading this really cool series that's the Powder Mage series.
Powder Mage series.
It's not by this guy, but are you familiar with Brandon Sanderson?
No.
I am not.
He's a fantastic author who does very, very interesting books with really cool power systems. And this, I forget the name of the author of the Powder Mage stuff, but it's very similar. And I found it because Brandon Sanderson said, "This is amazing. Everybody
Okay.
should read this."
You got the recommendation.
So it's kind of like, almost like Napoleonic era.
Okay.
But there are a few different types of magic users, and one of them has the ability to manipulate gunpowder. So
That's
if
what I thought when you
they
said powder
go into
mage.
if they go into battle and the opposite side has powder horns, they can destroy those.
So he
And-
wins.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So this is a
or-
little Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norris kind of.
Yeah, he could say that. Yeah, but it's interesting because like some of them will specialize in being snipers, and they can actually burn their own powder charges to change the direction of a bullet in flight.
Oh, wow.
And it's just a very cool world, really good characters. I'm on book 5 now.
Oh, goodness.
Highly recommend it.
All right, I'll
That
have to
sounds
check
really
that out.
cool.
And also anything by Brandon Sanderson
Okay,
is
yeah.
stellar.
Bonus plug in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
That was really the first thing you thought when he said that? I immediately went with magicians doing cocaine.
Nope.
You're very close.
All right, we both
Because like when they're about to go into battle, they definitely snort powder.
won. All right.
Yeah.
Do a little brown.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we were both correct.
Yep.
I feel accomplished. Kyle, what are you reading or playing?
Well, I actually just finished playing Fallout 4.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I started it when it first came out and never finished
Oh,
it.
so this is a first run.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Oh.
I started it when it first came out and never went through.
How'd you
Got
like
and
the
all of a
ending?
sudden, I've been in this like, I hated it.
I wasn't a big fan either.
Yeah, yeah. I could gripe about that because the first half like had me hooked,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah,
there's-
same.
I don't want to give spoilers. I guess how
It's an old game.
Is it,
Yeah.
We're
I'm
up to
playing it
Fallout
right now.
76.
Yeah.
We're
Man,
about
I don't care.
four.
Go ahead.
Once you get
I'm
to
not
the
in it for
20
the
bucks
story.
at GameStop,
You
I
sure?
think you can.
Whatever.
Okay. So the second you find out, I can do this ambiguously anyway. The second you figure out
You find out the thing.
the thing about the guy in
Yes,
the plate. No,
about Leech.
actually, that's accurate. The second you find out Sean is who Sean is,
Mhm.
it lost it for me. Like, first off, I called it, and then I
Yeah.
didn't care for it.
Yeah, it felt weird.
Yeah, it was forced, and I think it would have been much cooler if they had gone a different.
It also
route.
didn't make sense. Like, we abducted this baby to be our king.
Yeah,
Our
exactly.
baby king.
You'll be fine. No, that's exactly what you would do.
I'm not sure if you knew this. It's subtle. He had to actually compete in a
I knew it
tournament.
was-
Ah.
Good reference.
Did
But-
your baby lead the institute?
They know too much. You know what to do.
Oh no! Now
Please
we're
still
getting
air
killed.
this.
So are you moving to New Vegas, or are you taking a break from Fallout?
Well, I beat that. I actually was on this binge of beating all the games I had never beaten, but I finally
good.
did that, and I'm a big Heroes of the Storm fan actually, so I
Okay.
went back to that. So I've been playing that now.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Will, do you have a
Yeah, get
reading
a
or
little
playing?
plug in. Although now I'm not sure that I'm getting the name of this company right. I believe
Exciting.
it's Mondo, and they made a game called The Thing Outpost 31.
Mondo? Or isn't that like a ripoff of Kool-Aid?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe they're making board games now.
Okay. Sounds good.
But
About
it's
Kool-Aid.
yeah.
Oh, Kool-Aid. Interesting.
Oh, cool.
It is Mondo. All
There
right.
we
Cool. All right.
But yeah, they it's The Thing, which is the Kurt Russell
Oh, okay,
80s
okay.
movie / Ramona Flowers did a remake. I don't know her real name.
Yes, I know exactly what. I love the thing.
Yeah, and it's very similar. It's a whole map of like the outposts and stuff, and you actually have toys on the board, which I love. It's very similar to Betrayal,
Okay.
but much more in depth and much resources are scarce. It's hard to get a gun. Somebody might be a monster alien. Somebody might not be.
Nice.
Yep, there it is.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, that's true in all things in life, right?
Mhm. Yeah, it was a panic attack. The whole I was
Oh,
terrified.
I love it. I
That
love
somebody
this.
was like,
Oh.
I want to work together with my friends. I don't want to die.
Have you guys played Dread?
No.
I've heard of Dread.
Oh my god! If you want a panic attack while playing the game,
I sure do.
You
Yeah.
have to play Dread. It's literally an RPG with a Jenga tower, and every time you choose to do something,
Yes,
Oh,
Jeff Stormer told me about this.
I've never heard of this game before.
oh my god! It's because everything is like a Fireside Tale horror story. You get that slight palpitation, and then you know that palpitation you get when you're playing
playing
Jenga.
Jenga.
Mhm.
They start to collide, and all of a sudden you start like getting really like jittery about it and stuff. It is such a mind game, and nobody wants to die. So when the tower starts getting rickety, everybody's like, "Just run!
Nobody make a move.
Just please don't let me."
Everybody just stand very still.
yeah, yeah. No, that is definitely a fun one. The
Well, I recommend Mondo's Outpost 31.
All right, cool. Real quick, just because I got to throw it out, and I've been super enjoying it. I started reading Gwenpool.
Mm,
yeah.
that is
Okay.
good.
So, like, I had
Yeah.
no idea what Gwenpool actually was.
I don't.
The story of Gwenpool is Gwen is a comic book fan from another world who gets sucked into the comic book verse. So her only power is the power of knowledge about how comic books worked. It was amazing.
That sounds
That's
very
a really
good.
potent power.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
like no one in the universe like gets it, so she has trouble like explaining it to people. But like, she meets Miles Morales by chance on the subway and like freaks out. And Miles is like, "Why are you freaking out?" And she's like, "You know, the Spider-Man thing." She's like, "How do you know that?" He's like, and she has to like, "Man, I'm a watch." Like, it makes more sense for her to be like, "I'm a watcher from another planet," to be like, "You're a comic book." So she helps solve a mystery through like cliches. Like, hey, do you remember that kid that like you said you felt tingly near when you saw him? It's like, yeah, that's your spider sense, stupid. He's the villain. Okay. So it was so good. I had it was like the second trade. It was like the second book, and I got halfway through it, and I was like, I have to stop and read the first one because this is so good.
Nice.
The art's
I
really cool, too.
highly
Yeah.
recommend Gwenpool to everyone
Yeah.
because she is my new favorite.
All right.
So that's going to do it for what you watch and what you read and what you're playing, because we end all of our podcasts with a game. Could you pass that blue notebook? Not the one that's close to me, but the one that's
The
far.
We're
furthest
doing the tournament
notebook.
again.
We get another shot.
Yeah.
So we're going to play a game called Reddit Says. Are you guys familiar with the hit website Reddit?
Absolutely.
Oh, read it.
Read it, yes.
What is this? Read it.
Where you read it.
You've already done that.
I went on to Ask Reddit, and I picked a question, and I have the top 10 most upvoted answers to that question. So it works kind of like Family Feud. You want to
Okay.
give me the number one most upvoted answer to these questions.
Hmm.
So everyone will get a chance to answer every question. If there's people in the chat, feel free to play along. So the regular dude asks, what can kill you that most people underestimate? I thought this would be funnier. And then I started writing the answers like, this is just going to cause paranoia.
Oh, aneurysms.
So what can kill you that most people underestimate? Will.
I should say aneurysms, but I'm gonna go with the cone snail.
The cone snail.
Mm-hmm.
What's the cone snail,
A
Will?
little tiny jerk of an animal that has enough. It's like the most venomous animal in the world.
And that is something a lot of people would know and answer with. So good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
It
Definitely
gets a sweet reference in the Lost World: Jurassic Park 2.
Really?
Mhm.
Well, way to ruin it.
Kyle, what do you think?
Something. I gotta go with sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah, that's a
Sugar.
good
That's a
answer.
good one.
That's a good choice.
one. And Ben?
My gut says dogs.
Dogs.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Dogs.
good.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
Dark, but good.
Top 10 answers include number 10, scorpions.
Mm.
I feel like I'm aware of the danger
Yeah, I
of
don't think anyone's
scorpions.
like messing
Who's
with
not?
scorpions.
Wait. So somebody sees this thing with pinchers and a stabby thing and is like,
What's
I'm
wrong
not-
with you, long crab? That's a cone snail.
Oh, that's a cone snail.
Oh.
All right. That's terrible.
That looks deadly, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that.
Uh-huh.
Number 9 is ladders.
Yeah, a lot of people die that way.
Number 8 is stairs. Number 7 is not wearing a seatbelt.
I feel like
Number 6 is the ocean.
In
that's
general.
technically my answer.
Yeah.
Well,
Number
then
5,
my answer's Earth.
physical matter. Physical matter.
Yeah.
Number 5 is water. Number
Not
6
the
is
ocean.
specifically the ocean. Number
Non-salt
5 is
variety.
all water.
It's that 2 inches you can drown in.
Yeah, exactly. Number 4 is Tylenol. Number 3 is showers. Number
slip.
2 is blood clots.
Ah,
Yeah.
I did.
And number 1 is forklifts.
Which
Why?
I'm kidding.
everybody knows is the street name for sugar.
I'm kidding. Will was almost killed. by
Yeah, I
a
was
forklift.
kidding, yeah.
Number 1 is being distracted while driving. A forklift.
Forklift. Yeah, so not wrong.
Yes. Like I said, thought it'd be funny. Kind of just upsetting.
Yeah. I do have to say, I spoke about Dread earlier. Our highest kill count in Dread is
Yep.
actually ladders.
Ladders?
Yes, so
Do you have to
More
pull the
people have died
Jenga
on
from
that.
a ladder?
Yep.
Like,
only if your DM's a jerk. And I am.
Damn. So no points.
Yep.
But this question should be a little bit easier. Null Stalin asks, what is the worst example of a product trying to brand itself as edgy?
Wow.
Maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. The worst example of a product trying to brand itself as edgy.
I think just
Yes, Kyle, we start with you.
Oh, I don't like that. Edgy.
That's hard.
I can't think of anything now.
I could think of some obscure stuff.
Axe deodorant.
Ooh, that's not a
Oh,
bad
yeah,
answer.
that's a good answer.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a good
that's not
answer.
I feel like when Jello was trying to be like extra jiggly.
Oh, yes, extra jiggly. I
Yeah,
remember
like
that.
we've upped our jiggliness.
Yes, I do recall
I kind of want to say PlayStation, but that wasn't a bad
yeah, well,
example.
that's-
They really.
They didn't know what they were getting with that. That was a double whammy.
extra jiggling.
I'm gonna go with
Immense the jiggling.
colored ketchup.
Colored ketchup. Oh,
It's purple.
that is a fantastic and came back recently. I
Yes,
Yes,
that's why
yes.
it's in my brain.
So they said, you know what didn't work well?
You know what we still have tubs of?
That was probably it. They found an extra vat in the back, and we're like, just put it in a bottle.
Yeah, but it can't go bad.
Number 10 is Subway After Jared. I don't remember this ad campaign, but apparently they tried to be edgy.
That's not a good look for them.
Yes. Number 9 is Comcast becoming Xfinity.
Ah.
Number 8 is Mr. Pibb becoming Pibb Extra.
Ooh.
Pibex.
It's about the
Pibb.
Marines when they had that dragon commercial.
Yeah, you fight a dragon with a sword. Number 7 is Diet Coke's defensive ads. Which do you know what this is? Because I don't.
Offensive ads?
I don't remember Diet Coke ever
Screw
being
you, it's
defensive.
good enough.
Oh, is that like we're as good as regular Coke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
Come
eat
on.
your stomach lining more than any other soda.
Yeah, drink it.
Do you think it was after New Coke came out? They were like, hey, we're not as bad as that.
Apparently, number 6, Lunchables for a while were using the phrase, Lunchables are delicious for frizzle.
That's not true.
It's the most horrible picture I've ever seen.
Wow.
Yes, it was for their new tacos. I don't know. It looked and sounded awful.
Were these sourced? Like, can we reference the Chinese?
I pulled up the picture. I bet Jesse could find it if he tried. Lunchables are delicious for rizzle. Number 5 is Sierra Mist becoming Miss Twist, which I
I
didn't
don't
even know.
remember
half of
that.
them. Number 5 is that new Apple commercial where the girl's like, "What's a computer? I have a tablet."
I didn't think that was edgy, but
Yeah, that was more obnoxious than
Yeah, I hate that commercial. Number 3 is, do you remember when McDonald's would do, look at that burger, I'd hit it?
That's also
a
not
little
true.
bit.
I thought you were going to say replace Ronald with it.
Was it?
Like,
Yeah, you don't remember that?
Yeah,
That was real edgy.
when Grimace killed the BK Kids Club.
Number 2 is when Wendy's told you to eat like a boss.
Oh, I do kind of remember that too.
I don't.
Up there's the image. Lunchables,
Wow.
walking tacos are totes. Delicious for rizzle.
Are we sure that's real and not a meme, though?
It looks so fake.
I mean, it says Lunchable right there.
Oh, you can't. You
No
can't
way
edit
that's-
that, yeah. Legal.
who had the commercials that it was like a lady having sex with the sandwich?
Oh.
Carl's Jr.?
Probably. Yeah, I think it was Carl's Jr.
Carl's Jr. where it was Paris Hilton like washing a car in a bikini
Yeah,
eating
and
a
it was
sandwich.
like eat this aroused.
That made me think of the shampoo ones, too. That probably could have been.
Yeah, got to urge
oral, what was it? Something. I don't know. Go on. This didn't happen. Move on.
Okay.
And number 1 is anything that tried to be extreme.
Oh.
yeah, it's all of it.
Yeah.
I know. I thought someone would say it. You
Was
were
that the
real
90s
close
or
with
the 80s
extra.
where everything was extreme?
It's still happening.
Is it?
Yeah,
That's
in
a
the
shame.
90s it was especially spelled with an X.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh yeah, that
Thank you,
is
Jesse.
a good one. Yes.
So no points still. So I'm a
Jeez.
little worried about this game. We're going to start with Ben.
Okay.
Chops the Penguin asks, let's pretend that violent video games actually teach you how to shoot people.
Okay.
Yeah.
What other skills would you pick up from video games?
Interesting. How to hit any structure with a shovel and turn it into something else.
Very specific. I like it.
Yes.
Very good.
Minecraft.
Or Fortnite. Or,
Oh, gotcha.
you know.
Will?
Oh, I'm. This the wording on this will get weird. How to feed yourself by punching a wall and grabbing like a full rotisserie chicken out of there.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
I was just going to go with the basic heal yourself with food.
Heal
Oh,
yourself
alright.
with
No,
food.
that would be
Excellent, excellent answers. Number 10 is rolling makes you invincible.
good.
Number 9 is like 33 types of martial arts. That's what it said. Number 8 is always go the wrong way first so you can find secrets.
Huh.
Very true. Number 7 is rocket science and town management. Civilization leaked onto this one. Number 6 is lock picking. Number 5 is how to fly a World War II plane.
That's easy.
Number 4 is always reloading, even if you've only shot one bullet.
Yep,
Yeah,
constantly.
essential.
What are you, stupid?
Especially when your character doesn't reload, but you still keep hitting R.
Yeah,
anyway.
you gotta
Yeah,
reload.
I know.
Gotta reload. I shot that bullet. Number 3 is loot all corpses.
Ah,
I mean, that's just good life advice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I bet I'd loot a corpse.
Yeah, all of them. It could be stuff. Number 2 is inventory anxiety.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't
I've
have
got
like a
4 things
lineup
in my
of your
pockets.
pocket with little squares on it.
Maybe
like,
you don't.
Wallet, cell phone, keys. I can't fit them.
Yes. And save. I need to save. And number 1 is the double jump.
So
I was
Double
gonna
jump.
go lavender
Yeah.
gathering.
So that's all the questions. So unfortunately,
We're all losers.
all
Ugh.
losers this
I think
week.
we
What's up?
For guys who have a game podcast, we're all bad at games.
Yeah, we tried. We tried, but
we're all
Unfortunately, no
losers,
one-
and we
winners.
didn't do well in that game.
Yeah.
it's pretty sad. What a great way to end the show.
Yeah, wow.
We got to get out of here, guys. Anything you would like to plug?
Well, we do a podcast called Intelligence Check. I don't know.
Have you heard of this?
I've gotten word of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It's some people say the best thing on podcasts.
I don't
right
listen
now.
to actual play podcasts. I think they're all
Now
terrible.
you
Oh,
Oh,
Or I'll set my baby on you.
oh no!
It will kill you.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we
Played
do.
a lot of Fortnite and knows how to shoot bullets.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
real good. Yeah, no, just listen to our podcast.
Yeah,
please.
it's
Well,
on
well, where would we do that?
iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and
all
all
the
of the various
podcatchers.
podcast things that pull from those places.
Yeah, we have a Discord page now.
We do have a
get little
Discord.
bit of activity
Cool,
there for fun.
cool.
Yeah,
We just want to chat. We talk
Twitters?
about-
You guys got Twitters?
We don't. No, we're just not Twitter
We're
people.
going with the fact that Twitter's going to go down.
Yeah.
Probably.
Eventually,
yeah.
yeah.
Fad.
We're Reddit.
This whole social media thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. The internet itself,
Mhm.
passing that.
Right.
The real plan is to get this on the radio.
Why do you think we're playing an old-timey book
Right.
game?
Yes.
The highest technology is your mind.
Yes. If you want to listen, it's on AM 1130. Only way to listen. Tune in. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on the show. Will, anything to add?
Yeah, if you have any complaints about this episode or me being mean to Kyle's baby, you could just send them to Anthony Leach.
No, no, don't say it again.
That was twice as
I'm
bad.
in so much trouble. Jeez.
So there are apparently going to be 2 openings now.
Yeah.
There's two of us!
It was a good run. I had fun with it.
Be sure to give us 5 stars on iTunes, 5 stars on Stitcher. Vote for us on podcastland.com. Make us the podcast of the month. You can also watch live on Twitch. That's +2 Comedy on Twitch. And you can also watch on YouTube. That's +2 Comedy. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I think we're still on Wildfire Radio. I don't know. The guy won't get back to us. But look there. I don't know. There's probably some high-quality programming there. Thank you, as always, to Net Neutrality for still existing in this state, at least, and making the show possible. Upcoming shows next week, we have a very special episode, and that's all I'm going to say. Ooh. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. I forgot how that ended the show.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is a
Oh,
coward.
yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme is a coward. Thank
Fight
you so
me.
much for watching. This is the +2 Comedy.